I'm not frozen anymore. Okay, hello and good afternoon and happy Easter and all of that sort of stuff. I'm a bit early today because I want to watch the Watford game later. So you're going to have to put up with that if you're watching live. If not, then you'll see it doesn't matter. So today, on today's Weekly 10 show, I'm talking about the fourth discipline in line of the core disciplines, and that happens to be trusting the process. Okay, so what I want to really do is talk about a little bit about my situation and how this basically helped me stay on track and get to where I really want to be. And you know, when you're in the process of change, things are very all over the place. I mean, it really, you don't know which way to turn from one day to the next sometimes, and it's literally confusing. You might have doubts about yourself. Your confidence might be low. You might not even know who you are anymore. It's a case of transitioning from one area of your life into the next. And that can be very hard. I mean, it's not easy for anyone in any situation, whatever the changes, and we all go through different changes at different times of our life, and consistently changing throughout life at the moment. You know, there could be 10 dozen different changes going on at any one time in your life. It depends on the situation. But it also depends on you and how you respond to those changes and how you show up and cope or approach with anything that goes on in your life. It doesn't have to be a good thing or a bad thing. It could be anything. So trusting the process is essentially focusing on your overall performance and where you're going in life. It's a faith. It's an inner faith. So my situation, I'll give you a brief explanation about where it helped me. When I come out of prison, I was basically all over the gaff. I knew nothing about where I was anymore. Everything I knew had gone. I didn't know who I was anymore. I literally didn't know anything about me. I didn't know what, you know, there was that past me, which I wasn't anymore, and there was the new me, which I wasn't sure where I was going. And so it was all confusing, and I literally just felt like a duck out of water. I mean, I came out of prison, I went straight into my aunt's annex, which isn't my, as much as that helped me so much, it's not my home. All the people I used to knock around with had changed or moved on, and everything had changed. So I was in a bit of a state, really. I didn't know where I was, and I just sort of, you fall back into sort of old ways in a way, which are unhelpful, because it's what you know, and it's not what you want, but it's what you know. So sometimes that can throw you off track of where you're really going. And so particularly with me, I mean, I've been out of prison now for 4 years, and in that 4 years, I've not had another relationship. I've focused basically on rebuilding myself, not just myself, just my career as well, and everything about me. I needed to start fresh. I needed to build from scratch, and that doesn't mean I've forgotten everything that went before, because that's a part of acceptance that I think I've discussed in the previous shows. When you accept the things about you before which you want to keep, rather than having to change everything. It's not about having to change everything. You change the things that you are not working, and you keep things that do. So, but when you trust the process, you've got focus on a knowing, on an outer goal. You know roughly where you want to be going. You don't necessarily know how to get there, but you know roughly how you want to be going somewhere. So over this last 4 years, many of my pals, my friends, have said, like, they've like, why are you still single? Why are you? Because I'm the sort of guy, and anyone who knows me will know this. Prior to going to prison, I've never been single. I can't remember a year when I wasn't. So for me to go 4 years, forget the 6 years in prison, in jail. You know, obviously you can't have a relationship in there. But the 4 years I've been out here, yes, I could have got into a relationship straight away with anyone. But it wouldn't have been right for me, and the thing is, I mean, when you're going through the changes in life, you're not where you want to be yet. So it's unfair not only on yourself, but it's unfair on someone else if you get with someone and you can't dedicate everything or commit to somebody if you're in a process of change and going through something. So I knew that I wanted to be somewhere. I knew roughly where I wanted to be, but there was a lot of stuff that had to be sorted through in the process. Emotional baggage, mental baggage, things like that. Coming to acceptance of where I was and where I am now and everything that's gone in between. So that takes time, and of course when you're in that sort of process, it's difficult at times and it can be very hard at times. And the thing is, you've got to be able to embrace it. You rather than go into a shell and, you know, become scared of everything that's going on around you and let it affect your confidence, let it knock you to knock you down. Embrace it, adapt. Be flexible to change. Change is a good thing. It's a good thing. It helps us grow. With everything that happens, every experience, doesn't matter what it is, we grow, we learn. So I'm now at a stage in my life when I don't get upset if something goes wrong. I just accept it and I say, well, what can I learn from this now? In fact, in a weird sort of way, I actually get quite excited when something goes wrong because I know there's a learning point to it. So it doesn't shatter my confidence. What it does is actually increases my confidence. So, having faith is one of the most powerful things you can have. It's much more powerful than proof. You don't need evidence that something's going to work as if you've got faith, because you know it's going to work. And all along through this whole process, which I've been through the last 4 years, from starting, from getting out of jail, and prior to that, even when I started the ball rolling with the degree and all of this sort of stuff, I knew roughly where I was going to be going. And I had a rough idea, and I had no doubt whatsoever that I'd be successful. No doubt. And I still haven't. And the thing is, it takes time. You've got to change, you've got to adjust and learn and everything else. And that takes time. And that's why trusting the process is fundamental when we're going through any sort of transition in life, because we learn to, when we're in those situations when we really are thinking, this is never going to get any better, this is my life, this is over, oh my God, well, what am I going to do, and all of these sort of things, which we all go through. There's always times when you're going to doubt yourself and feel less confident. That's human nature. But when we trust the process and have faith, they're the things that, for me anyway, they dug me out of a hole many a time, because I can just know that, yes, I'm going through a period which is not particularly easy, but I know that I'm going to be going through this and learning from that, and then coming through that and going somewhere much more in line where I want to be going. And the proof is in the pudding. I mean, it comes down to the way we approach any situation in life, any performance in life. We have two ways of looking at it. You can look at it from an outcome perspective, or you can look at it from a mastery perspective. An outcome perspective is where you focus only on an outcome. So if you're training for a football match or a race or something like that, you're only interested in that particular event, but you're not looking at it from a whole perspective where you're looking at growth as a whole. Mastery perspective, on the other hand, is about growth every day, bit by bit, slowly. It's not about performing just for an outcome, or to please someone, or to look good in a certain situation, or to achieve something in particular. It's not. It's about learning to improve yourself bit by bit every single day. And when you do that, you trust the process, the faith is in line with that, and you find yourself developing inner strength, developing inner confidence, and over time that creates what you want. I'm now in a position now where I've never been happier, and for people who know me from what I've been through, for me to say that, that's hand on heart. It's not that I've got everything I want. I'm not a millionaire living in a mansion. It's not like I've got beautiful cars and everything else. There's loads of things on the surface you'd say, well, he's not successful in that, right? But I'm happy. And how many people can say that? How many people can say that, even with the millions of pounds in the bank and whatever? It's in there. That's what counts. So when you work on your minds, when you work on specifically what I teach, which is the core energy process, you learn how to take control over your mind and how to take control over everything that happens in your life. So and fundamentally, when we come back to trusting the process, it's when we always want to perform our best in any moment. Okay, so there's always a focus on long-term growth. So the mastery performance is always aimed at long-term growth because we've got that image of where we want to be. So we're moving continually forward. We're always moving forward. We've got that inner faith that tells us we're on the right track. We know where we're going. That helps us move forward. So as you understand your true goals, and instead of like sort of jumping into the first thing that presents itself, like I could have done, I could have gone out with the first girl I met, and it would have gone nowhere because I wouldn't have been committed to it. So you know, instead of jumping into these situations when they pop up, have faith in your current plan. You know, even if it's hard, because it is hard. I mean, for me, living in a flat on my own with no family over lockdown, it's fucking hard. But at the end of the day, I knew where I was going, and I knew that good things were on the horizon, and they're coming to fruition now. So I'm not going to complain. But that's because of the faith I had. I mean, I could have easily gone off, and I did. I self-sabotaged on numerous occasions, many more than numerous occasions. But that's part of the process. It's part of the learning process, because when you're going through those situations, you learn just as much as you're learning about when you're going through the good situations. So every situation, every experience has value. When you learn the elements of awareness and acceptance, conscious choice, trusting process, you can literally go onto autopilot and trust yourself, because you know that you're right. Everything that's going to happen will just happen in the right way, because you're conducting your own life. You're in charge of your own life. So everything that happens is your choice, and you're flexible to everything that goes on, really. So you learn from everything. So trusting the process is ultimately having faith in your process, in where you're going, and knowing that everything will turn out okay. And not in the end, but because there is no such as the end. When we end, we'll die. But I mean, it does turn out okay, or very much more than okay. So today, before I forget, I'm starting a new 14-week challenge, 4-week challenge called the Turning Point Challenge, and that is aimed at people who are stuck, who are finding difficulty motivating themselves or moving forward with their lives or whatever it is, who want to be unstuck, and within 4 weeks I can help you get there. So that information on that is going to be released from the 5th of April, and you can get exclusive information if you sign up for my email subscription now, and you can receive information straight away about that. So please stick your email in the box below if you want to receive any information on that, and have a wonderful Easter bank holiday, and I will see you next time. Ta-ta, bye-bye.